Alright, welcome to another TRC Shave and Chat. I'm DK and today we're talking about the Goodfellas Smile. And Goodfellas Smile is a brand that I have not used yet, so we're going to have some live first impressions. This one's called Shibusa 2 tallow soap made in Italy. And looks like it's 3.4 ounces. Comes to you for $12 at the razor company. Get a look at it there. Kind of a brownish color, like a Tootsie Roll consistency. And it has it's one of those soaps that has like a little bit of grainy texture to it. Don't really know what that's about, but I've seen it before and it's never really affected anything. So I'm not worried about it. Might as well give you a sneak peek of the back as well. Couldn't hurt. Anyhow, I got that already lathered up in my Lancaster Razor Works shave bowl right here, and I'm using my Lancaster Razor Works brush right here with the V1 Badger knot on it from Lancaster Razor Works. So that is some of the shave gear today. Get a look at that lather. Looks pretty good in my opinion. It's definitely a more higher structure lather. And what I mean by high structure is you'll have some soaps that I call them low structure soaps. They don't fluff up into huge mounds of lather. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. As a matter of fact, it doesn't necessarily tell you, how the shave soap's going to perform, whether it's a huge voluminous lather or a lather that sticks a little bit closer to the skin and doesn't have as much volume to it. So when I say a high structure lather, I mean kind of like a lather that has a high volume, and a low structure lather is one that has a little bit less volume and maybe sticks a little bit closer to the skin. Now, of course, you could always paint on a thin layer, but when you're working up your lather, that's kind of when you have it building up, around the sides of your face, and it pools up, and that's when you can really see just how much product you have. And if it's a high structure lather, normally you have a lot of product. And if it's a low structure lather, it would seem as though you have less product. Now, this soap is high structure in my opinion, but it's only about a medium density at max. And what I mean about the density is that it doesn't have that viscous, it doesn't have that weight to it. When it's super dense, sometimes it's not even see-through. Let me pause right here and show you the shaving instrument. This is a Rado Star custom straight razor. It is a 7/8 and full hollow there. And so that's the blade of the day. It has dyed moose horn scales. Let's get into it. So, back to density, lather density. I kind of calculate, or the way I like to think about it, is a dense lather has more weight to it. You could kind of feel it on your face, It kind of has more of a presence to it when it's a dense lather. Often a really dense lather, it isn't see-through. And a less dense lather. You can kind of see the skin through it. Now, this is about, like I said, about a medium density at max. Even when I was first applying it to the face, I could kind of see my skin through it. Not easily, but I could kind of see my skin through it. I just wiped the blade off on the towel. And so, the density doesn't really calculate the performance of the shave either. These are just ways to describe the lather. So, you could have a low structure, low density soap, and if you're unfamiliar, you might be thinking, that to me sounds like a bad soap. Excuse me. You might be thinking, that sounds like a bad soap. And you might be thinking that I'm just talking trash about it. But if that soap has a high level of slickness, and you're getting fantastic shaves back to back to back with that product, then how could it possibly be a bad soap? You know, if you're following my drift. If you're getting good shaves, it must be a good soap. You're doing something right. So, don't get too hung up on the kind of stats of the soap and the different descriptor words. It's not the end-all be-all. That's kind of where you might set your preferences. You know, like, I prefer having a dense lather that has some weight to it. I think it adds a level of luxury to the experience. But I know that it doesn't add anything to the performance of my shave. Some might say it does. Some believe that density gives them some sort of protection from a razor blade. I'm not one of those people. I'm not, a believer in cushion or protection from the lather. That just, I can't wrap my head around lather protecting a razor blade from anything. But I do believe very strongly that the density adds a luxurious feel to your shave that I quite enjoy. And structure pretty much means nothing to me. High structure, low structure, I'm gonna paint a thin layer over the surface of my skin regardless. So the structure really doesn't mean much to me. Yeah, I could take it or leave it. The high structure, low structure. But density, I prefer it. I prefer having a dense lather. It adds a level of luxury. Alright, that's plenty right there. I only do a with the grain and against the grain. I do that no matter what razor type I'm using. So we're switching positions. Always stretching the skin. Got that kind of inverted J-hook when I ride up the sideburns there. I just rotate the razor around the pivot of my fingers there. Very smooth. And so, Goodfellas Smile on this first initial run with the product. To me, it has decent slickness. Definitely enough to get the job done. It's not what I would call a high level of slickness. Definitely not an elite option, in my opinion. Of course, this is only my first use of the product, so this isn't going to be, the final conclusion. But on this first impression, I'm not getting blown away by their performance. Definitely has enough to get the job done. And what I do appreciate about it is that it is quite affordable. Especially for a product that is, being imported. I live here in the States. The razor company is here in the States as well. And this is a product of Italy. And so that is kind of, $12 is a pretty impressive price for an imported artisan good. And so at that price, I don't expect it to have some mind-blowing elite level amount of slickness. Nor would I really expect it to have a high level of density, providing a super luxurious face feel. But the product, all in all, is a good value option that provides a good lather for a good price. So you can never hate on that. And products that are in that category are usually universally, appreciated. They're usually appreciated by the shavers that they stick to budget options, or the shavers that are more in the moderate tier, or the high-end shavers. The thing about being a good budget option is that almost everybody can afford it. And so, if it's a decent product, then it's probably going to be, universally enjoyed. So, Goodfellas Smile, definitely giving it a thumbs up. The scent on this one, it was, the description read, inspired by Acqua di Parma. Specifically the almond note, they said. This one has anise, pesco, ylang ylang, vanilla, white musk. And I get quite it's almost reminiscent of a gourmand fragrance. And this is my Lancaster shave towel. Very plush, very soft. So the fragrance to me on this one, almost gourmand. I think it just ekes out being a gourmand, but it's definitely a little bit warmer, a little bit sweeter. When I think of Acqua di Parma, and maybe I'm just not super familiar with the actual fragrance, but I've had soaps that were inspired by it in the past. And this doesn't quite hit the mark. Maybe it's because, they added a few things here and a few things there, making it their own. But it definitely doesn't right away remind me of Acqua di Parma. But it's a nice fragrance. It's enjoyable. Alright, now I don't have a matching aftershave product, So I'm going to be using Barrister & Mann's Eau de Light, and this is an aftershave balm. I'll give you a little look at the side label there. Got these just a ton of ingredients. Now kind of spin it to the other side of the label. So this one here was, I think it was a winter seasonal, and it was based off of, the scent is based off of I believe it was a dessert item. And so to me, it kind of has like the sugar cookies vibe, but then it has like a sweet, almost tart fruit character. So it's like sugar cookies and fruit almost. Kind of like if you think of those like little fruit tarts that you might see at like a bakery or something like that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting off this. And I actually really enjoy the scent. I kind of regret not picking it up. I wasn't 100% sure about it, but Eau de Light smells pretty nice. And this one I would kind of classify as gourmand. Definitely different than Shibusa 2, but still very enjoyable. So that will pretty much do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this shave. Maybe even learned something. If you want to see more of my shaves, just catch me on my YouTube channel, DK DamnFineShave, and I'd love to see you guys there. Anyways, keep watching the Razor Company. You could definitely pick up Goodfellas Smile and particularly Shibusa 2 at the Razor Company for a great price. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.